We welcome you back to beautiful Denver, Colorado and Coors Field, where the rain has moved on for the time being, and let's hope that this window will give the Rays and the Rockies an opportunity to get this game in. The Rays lineup presented by your Southern Ford dealers. We'll have Logan Forsythe leading off, then Brad Miller and Evan Longoria. Corey Dickerson back in Denver, and he'll hit cleanup for the Rays in front of Steve Pearce just off the DL. Kevin Kiermaier hits 6. Luke Maile will catch with Oswaldo Arcia in right, and Blake Snell batting ninth doing the pitching.
Well, taking the mound tonight for the Colorado Rockies, right-hander Tyler Chatwood making his 17th start of the season, an 8-5 record, very good 3.29 earned run average in 95 2/3 innings.
And the first pitch of this game comes in too high. A ball and no strikes. Clint Fagan calls the balls and strikes. Plate umpire out of Tomball, Texas. One and one.
And you're going to see an awful lot of that here tonight. Tyler Chatwood, coming off of surgery, kind of reinventing himself as a sinker ball type guy. So you're going to see a lot of fastballs, trying to keep that ball down in the zone, work the ground.
Liner up the left field side. That's a fair ball back into the corner. Rayburn will have to go in after it, and it's a two-base hit for Logan Forsythe.
Oh, a quick start here for the Rays, and Logan Forsythe able to keep that pitch fair right up that line. Hey, listen, we know that this team's going to see a lot of sinkers. The Rays know it too, and so you look for those pitches elevated, which that pitch was, and Logan got the hands through quick enough to keep the ball fair and give the Rays an early opportunity.
17th double of the year for Logan. Forsythe in scoring position. Chatwood has had a difficult time here at home. He's been lights out on the road and struggling here at Coors Field.
Man, his breakout, how about this? He's had 16 starts, 8 at home, 8 on the road. He's had 8 starts where he's given up 1 or 0 earned run. 7 of the 8 have come on the road, and you can see the breakout right there.
Brad Miller up here, fouling it back, and the count is 0-2. That pitch up. Miller with those 15 home runs. Up here with a man in scoring position, down in the count. And a chopper by the mound. Story in front of the bag at second from short makes the play, and Forsythe goes to third.
Well, let's go ahead and take a look at that Rockies defense for you here tonight. See how they're going to line up. Brought to you by Gold and Diamond Source. And in the outfield left to right, we have Ryan Rayburn, Charlie Blackmon, and Brandon Barnes. Across the infield third to first, Nolan Arenado, Trevor Story, DJ LeMahieu, and Mark Reynolds, with Nick Hundley back behind the plate.
Evan Longoria last night, a true triple night for Evan, coming off the 2 home run day he had Sunday at home against Baltimore. Fouls that first pitch fastball. Strike one.
You can see Chatwood, when he was going up against Brad Miller, trying to come up and in. When you're doing that, you're trying to get pop-ups, weak pop-ups. That's exactly where he tried to come in there on Evan Longoria too, trying to drive this run in.
Pop foul out of play. 0-2. See, in the American League, extra base hit leaders: Ortiz, Donaldson, Machado, and then Evan Longoria, 4th in the American League.
And Ortiz added at least 1 to that number, had a big 3-run homer, the big difference in the Red Sox win tonight against the Giants.
That's a foul ball. Just a piece of it, fouling it in behind Hundley.
Tried to come in there with a slider, and Tyler Chatwood, fastball, slider, curveball, changeup. very, very heavy with the fastball, though.
And a foul ball, so he stays alive. You can see that pitch down, way down there, and it's foul.
Well, Chatwood has just 59 strikeouts in now 96 innings. But here, you know, he's going with his best to try to get Evan. And you see that ball just off the end of the bat.
Well, his ground ball rate is over 58%. Evan battling, fouls it away. Up the right side this time.
That's that sinker coming into play. That leads to a lot of ground balls, a lot of ground ball double play opportunities if there are base runners. But right now, you'd like to get that strikeout, 0-2.
Ground ball through the open right side, and the Rays lead. Forsythe scores from third. Longoria comes through, driving in his 51st run. And with the shift on, he had a lot of room over there. Down 0-2, battled his way into that base hit. And the first run of the ball game.
We see him do it all the time. You can see the way that they have him defensed, and if you're going to end up pitching him away, you know, that's not ideal for Evan. He wants to drive the ball, but down 0-2, trying to get a run home, take that single, take that RBI.
And here's Corey Dickerson, who had such great success here in a Colorado uniform, a .354 career average at Coors Field. He's hitting cleanup for the Rays. Takes that one inside. There goes the runner, and the pitch is fouled out of play. So the Rays had Longoria on the move. You see the breakout for Corey Dickerson in his time with Colorado. .355 here, .249 on the road.
With power, runs batted in. Look at the slugging percentage. Big difference. Corey Dickerson at home. That makes a lot of sense, too. I mean, we've talked about the reason why. Although, you know, you start to look at some of the guys now, like Arenado, Trevor Story, pretty equal with their home runs at home and on the road. But you can assume that average is going to be higher because of the way you have to play your outfield. And certainly, if you hit the ball flush, it is going to carry here.
Well, we saw how big this outfield is last night and how every outfielder has to bust it to get to a ground ball that goes through the infield or a line drive that skips through that outfield. You've got a lot of territory to cover, and a base hit turns into an extra base hit pretty quickly. Foul ball, count still 1-2.
And you've got to charge ground balls. You know, the way the guys get out of the box, and this is the reason you have to play them so deep, it's a huge outfield all the way around. Down the lines, in the alleys, center field. So a ground ball into the outfield, you've got to come after it aggressively, or a good base runner. You think about a guy like Kiermaier, he's going to take a ground ball up the middle and turn it into a double just about every time unless Blackmon is charging aggressively.
Fouled back by Dickerson. Rays with a run. Longoria is at first. 1 on, 1 out, 1-2 the count to Corey Dickerson, playing left field tonight. Ground ball first. Reynolds down to second, back to first. They get the double play, and the Rays are out in the first. But they pick up a run on 2 hits. Nobody left on base. There's the double play. Bottom of the first coming. 1-0 Rays. Bottom of the first. Let's take a look at the linemen, the lineup here with Blackman leading it off. Charlie Blackman, then LeMahieu, followed by Arenado. Trevor Story hits cleanup. Rayburn, Reynolds, Hundley, Barnes, and Chatwood completing the lineup for Walt Weiss.
Well, Blake Snell making his 7th start of the season, record 1-4, ERA 3.69, 31 2/3 innings, 27 strikeouts. Like to see that walk come down, but look, just the 1 home run in 31 2/3 is a nice job of keeping the ball in the park.
Well, there's Blackman, and he takes the first pitch. That's in there. Blackman hitting .305, 10-game hitting streak starting this game. And a cut to miss. 0-2.
Yeah, 2 very good pitches here to start off by Blake Snell, and that is what I'm interested in seeing tonight. You know, Blake has not started in 12 days. So when you go that long, I don't care how many bullpens you throw, I don't care how you set yourself up, 12 days is a long layoff, so you wonder how sharp he will be early. Those first 2 pitches, very good.
Yeah, and the other thing, pitching here, and we talked about it a little bit last night, there's a swing and a miss, and he takes care of Blackman on 3 pitches. Talked about the breaking ball up here in Denver and the effect that the altitude has on it, and he had already said that's not a pitch that he's not going to throw it a lot tonight.
Well, 2 things. First of all, if you get like that kind of depth on the slider, then don't throw it. That's fine. But you brought up a great point earlier because we were talking about it. Like, why would you just forego a pitch that's been pretty good for you, number one? But the point you brought up, even more important, why would you tell anybody? Don't broadcast that. You don't have to throw it, but don't tell anybody.
LeMahieu takes a strike. Well, that's the breakout in his first 6 starts, and that curveball is an outstanding pitch, like a 12-6 curveball.
True.
But we've seen him throw that slider and that be effective as well. Whoops, down goes LeMahieu with a fastball up and in.
This is the last time you see a Rays pitcher, Rays starter, dust somebody like this.
I think it's the first time this year.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
And it comes from the rookie.
Yeah, right.
And good for him. He's not throwing at him, just establishing some territory. You'd like to see that a little bit more. The chop off the plate. Miller has to wait, unloads, and he gets his man. Well, strikeout and a ground out.
Let's take a look at that Rays defense and see how it is configured here tonight. Brought to you by Golden Diamond Source. And in the outfield, left to right, we've got Dickerson, Kiermaier, and Arcia. Across the infield, third to first, Longoria, Miller, Forsythe, and Pierce getting the start over there at first, with Luke Maile behind the plate.
Here's Nolan Arenado, the third baseman. Ground ball toward the hole, and Miller's throw is right there to Pierce. A 1-2-3 first for Blake Snell. So far, so good. 1-0 Rays. activated off the DL, back from the hamstring injury, and here he is leading off the second. Looking at a fastball for a strike. And the roster move, Nick Franklin option to Durham, and he put up great numbers here. That was not an easy assignment for the Rays manager Kevin Cash to do. Pierce grounds out. LeMahieu shaded toward the middle and takes care of that. That's one of the tough jobs of a manager. You know, Franklin, frankly, had struggled a couple of times previous here with the Rays, and he really seemed to find his niche. And now to tell him that he has to go back to AAA, not an easy job for a manager.
You know, I often think about that. You know, that all of the responsibilities that a manager like Kevin Cash has, but calling someone into your office, knowing what you're about to do, you're just going to crush the guy. And no matter how he takes it, that has got to be extremely difficult and something that you probably never get used to.
1-0 pitch. Kiermaier on the ground to the right side. So there's a ground ball, and LeMahieu handles that one. So 4 pitches and 2 outs here in the second for Tyler Chatwood.
When speaking about his performance, you're absolutely right. Comfortable, swinging the bat from both sides, getting a chance to play some different positions in the field.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that Cash told him. He'd like him to go and spend more time in the outfield at Durham, which from that point of view only increases his value with what he's already shown the Rays this last time up. So he'll take that and go, but probably not like it overall.
No. And you don't want anybody to like that assignment.
Yeah.
And the key is anytime you get sent down, and you know, I can remember when I played for the Indians, and it was such a good team in '96 and '97. I was on that Cleveland Buffalo shuttle, and the key was when you go back down to Buffalo or you go back down to Durham, that the head is right, that you continue to work, that you continue to play hard. Because if you go down there feeling sorry for yourself, kind of kicking the can, like, you know, I was playing so well, I really don't deserve this. Well, all of a sudden you find yourself in a hole in Durham or in Buffalo, and now your path back gets a little bit longer. That's the challenge.
2-2 here to Maile. Well, it goes down to mental discipline because there's so much riding on it individually. It's your career you're talking about, and your ability to eventually help the team again.
Yep.
Still 2-2 here on Luke Maile. He had a base hit last night driving in a run. Luke 4 of 9 since coming up from Durham and doing a nice job behind the plate for the Rays. He's been fun to watch back there. Right back into the screen.
We talked about it early on. You know, he's going to get a look. He's going to get an opportunity. What are you going to make out of it? And so, you know, you can see that he's playing with a lot of energy, and that's what you like to see from your catcher, a lot of movement.
Fly ball into left field. Rayburn goes back. That ball carries to the track. How about that? Couple steps from the wall. A lot of carry on that fly ball. Bottom of the second coming up. 1-0 Tampa Bay. Rookie shortstop Trevor Story is going to lead off for the Rockies. Hit his 22nd home run of the year here last night.
That was a hanging changeup, and Trevor Story, listen, he leads all of Major League shortstops in home runs with the 22. He got off to such a great start at the beginning of the season and really hasn't let up.
Yeah, really a sensational story in baseball that first month of the year. He had a pretty good spring. Didn't really know that he was going to make the team, and then got called in to the manager's office late in the spring. First pitch is a ball, and like any young player, you get that call and you're thinking, well, does this mean I'm going out, or is there a chance I'm going to make this team? A ball, no strikes here to Story. That's a strike, and it's 1-1. So Walt Weiss asked him if he'd seen any video of Zach Greinke. And he said, sure, I've seen a lot of it. He goes, well, you better look at some more because you're going to face him opening day.
Oh, that is such a sweet story.
And then on top of that, boy, did he face him. His first big league hit was a home run to right center field off Greinke. And he hit another home run off him. So he made a big splash right away.
Can you imagine you're that close to leaving 22 home runs and 59 RBIs in AAA?
A 2-ball, 2-strike count to Story. Rayburn next, and then Reynolds.
And we talked about the home runs, and lest you think it's all about Coors Field. 11 here, 11 on the road.
Yep. We'll run the count all the way out. Well, you see 10 home runs in April. And those other months, not too bad either.
Yeah. Well, and him being so young, all of a sudden the book is going to get out on you. The weaknesses are going to start to try to be exploited. But he's still, out there at 22 and 59. You take that.
Ball 4 upstairs. Missed with the fastball.
Mike Snell not happy at all. Leadoff walk in this ballpark. Dangerous territory. We talked about it last night. This is a place where you really want to limit the walks, especially the leadoff variety.
Now it's Ryan Rayburn. First pitch is a strike. So Stories at first. You talked about that even break, the breakout on home runs by Story. We saw Evan Longoria hit that big triple toward right center field last night off what is a taller fence out there than before. And Story has hit 5 off the fence extension in right field. So he's got 22, could have 27.
Yeah, a year ago. Absolutely right. And Evan would have tied the game last night. Regardless, it should have been tied anyway. Third base, nobody out.
Big letdown for the Rays. There's a strike, and Rayburn is out of there.
I said that shot last night by Longoria, 423 feet.
Yeah, and that's just not right. That fence in right center field went from 8 feet 9 inches to 16 feet 6 inches this year. And they also raised the fence right down the left field line. They added 5 feet to that. Now there's that addition. Starts out there in right center field and runs all the way across. That in front of the bullpens.
Just off the front yard of Charlie Blackmon.
Yeah.
Maybe he requested it. Nosy neighbors.
A little privacy.
A little bit.
just upstairs. Boy, these couple of pitches right around close to that strike zone, and Snell not getting the call. Gave up a walk to Story, struck out Rayburn. 2-0 to Reynolds on its way. There's a cut and a miss.
That right there is a predetermined swing. You know that two pitches have been close, that have gone your way. 2-0, you're going to cut it loose. This ball, not even close. And you see Mark Reynolds, I mean, that ball bounces in front of the plate, and he is fully committed to the swing.
Popped up. It's going to carry to Kiermaier in center. 2 gone. So 2 away. Kiermaier says he likes playing here. Boy, that ball that he caught, or caught him last night, was pretty amazing. There's a lot of territory to cover, and he says that's what he likes. As we know, he loves to run. Nick Hundley. He's hitting .248. Upstairs. Take a look at Kiermaier's catch last night.
Right into the sternum. I mean, that line drive hit him flush. Able to turn that into a double play, but took quite the shot.
Headed out of play, 1-1. Hundley drove in a run last night with a sacrifice fly. Cut and a miss, takes the count to 1-2.
Very, very good off-speed delivery there by Blake Snell. Tremendous arm speed. Great finish on that pitch.
Over to first, Story back in. Fastball too high. 2-2. Long rain delay here. Just in the bottom of the second inning. It rained long and hard for a while here. Field in pretty good shape, all things considered. Runner goes, pitch high, throw skips in, safe at second. Story picks up steal number 7.
Boy, and he skipped right off the top of second base. Was able to hold on to it with his left hand, but that was, he's coming in hot. And watch him just skip over the bag. Almost a de facto pitch out right there. Right there, right over the bag. Stays connected. Well, for a split second, he didn't stay connected, and Kevin Cash,
Yeah,
they may take a look at it.
Yep,
that
that's
last
exactly
angle,
what he wants to do.
That last angle was the one. Legs pop off just for a split second before that left hand gets to the bag, and if Forsythe had the tag on him, get yourself an out here.
Well, the Rays are going to have him take a look, and Forsythe kept the tag on him.
On, comes off right there, and the tag before the left hand touches. There's the pop, there's the tag. He's going to be out. He's going to be out. Better be. Should be.
So the play under review. One more time, we'll take a look.
Yeah, I love this. Right foot to left shin, and then he pops off. Right there. There's the tag. He's off. And then the left hand comes on. I'm going to go ahead and get a coffee refill, Dwayne. I'll see you the next
Top
half.
of the third.
That's right.
Well, while they review this, Blake Snell will try to keep loose, tossing a few with Luke Maley. And he is out at second base. So on the caught stealing, that will end the second inning. We're going to head to the third, 1-0 Rays. We go to the third, get a Rays backpack presented by Sagicor Life Insurance Company. All kids 14 and under receive the backpack while supplies last as the Rays take on the Yankees Sunday, July 31st. Call 888-FAN-RAYS or visit RaysBaseball.com. Rays up. Rays are up here in the third. Oswaldo Arcia takes the pitch for a ball. Arcia, then Blake Snell, followed by the top of the order, Logan Forsythe. Chatwood, this is in 2-0. Works it in again and misses just off the plate. Couple of close pitches here. And so far, Clint Fagan is not inclined to expand that strike zone much.
Or even give you the corners.
Yeah. And there's ball 4, too high.
That's the part about the umpires' strike zones that drive you nuts. You know, that causes every hitter then to go up there and just sit back and keyhole. It makes for a crud game. You want guys up there aggressive, ready to go. Let's go. Be quick to call strikes and not way off the plate, but certainly those borderline. Every single one of them is going against the pitcher, and it makes for a dull walk fest.
Well, here's Blake Snell with an opportunity to bunt, puts it down foul. Strike one. Blake Snell has a bat with his name on it. He doesn't know anything about the specs of that bat. They just gave him a bat, said, here, use this one. And he says, which end do I hold?
Not the name. You take the part that has your name on it is away from you. You hold the other end.
And he bunts foul, 0-2.
The first couple of bunts kind of jabbing. We talked about it last night. You jab. Watch him how he just kind of jabs at it right there. And that's very rarely is that going to work unless you're a very accomplished bunter.
Yeah, that was almost the start of that Butcher Boy.
If he would actually caught that flush, it would have been a single up the middle.
Yeah.
Well, this is where in National League Baseball, where a pitcher can help himself. That leadoff walk, get him into scoring position.
Round to bunt, and he offers and misses, and he's out of there. So the Rays and Snell unable to sacrifice the runner. Arcia up to second.
That'll very rarely get a bunt down either. But hey, be that better for it the next time he comes up there.
But he's pretty frank about it. That's very strange territory for him.
He doesn't look too broken up about it either.
Here's Logan Forsythe, and he lines it over the head of Arenado, and that's going to roll to the wall. Arcia has gone to third, and Montoya's going to wave him home. He's going to score standing up. The Rays get that run without the sacrifice bunt. Forsythe drives it to the wall. It's 2-0 Tampa Bay.
You know, that's when you talk about those walks, unnecessary base runners, that's why. In any other ballpark, a double and Arcia is at third base, second and third. Not here. It's too big. You've got to run too far. The relay throws are too far, too long, and Arcia is able to gallop all the way around. Look at him flip that helmet off. Don't need the extra weight. It's going to be close. Actually, not really, but that's what Niner was thinking.
Well, here's Brad Miller taking a pitch inside. So the Rays with a couple runs now. One in the first, one in the third. And there's the oxygen. We are a mile high. Souza Jr. in helping.
I like that. We didn't have that.
Yeah, technically the playing field is not a mile high. You have to go to the upper deck for that.
Tell that to Oswaldo.
Yeah. Well, he scores from first. He's staying right there with it. Foul the other way. 2-2.
I'll tell you, this ballpark is brutal to pitch in. It really is.
I mean, it can hurt you in so many ways.
I don't remember it being that bad. I guess you're just so focused on what you're trying to do. But you sit up here and watch it from here, and I mean, just hard hit balls. Just roll to the wall. It's a track meet.
There's a shot that's got some carry. That's going to be over the head of Blackman. Forsythe will be waved around. Almost anything, it appears, hit into the outfield. Going to give the base runner, if there's a man on, at least 2 bases. And maybe 3.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt about it.
Rays lead 3-0.
That ball was absolutely shot out of a cannon. You know, we talk an awful lot about how hard Brad Miller hits the ball. That is a low liner that short hops 415. That ball was crushed.
A walk and a couple doubles. The Rays have 2 runs home in this inning. Evan Longoria pitches up. Yep, you're not getting strike calls here, and then base hits to the outfield, score runners from first.
What a horrible.
It's a tough night for a pitcher. There's a long one down the left field line. Will that be fair? It is fair and gone. What a shot. Over the seats. They're chasing it. A long, long home run by Longoria. And the Rays make it a 5-0 game. What a blast off the bat of Evan Longoria.
Really? Just enjoy.
Number 22 for Longoria. He just checks to see if it's going to be fair and maybe admire it a little bit. All the way up over the seats, and the chase was on. They're saying 462 feet for Longoria on that blast.
One of the most impressive shots I've seen in a long time. He turned that thing around. Height, distance, gorgeous.
4-run inning, a 5-0 game. Here's Corey Dickerson. Evan now with 53 runs batted in on the year and 22 home runs. Into right field. Barnes on the move. He can't get there. And a base hit for Dickerson.
Well, everything right now going right for the Rays. That ball got in on Corey Dickerson. Probably cost himself a bat. Sounded like that thing cracked. And you see he just soft serves it out into right field. That is a Coors Field special right there.
Leadoff walk, a strikeout of the pitcher, and then 4 consecutive hits. Here's Steve Pearce. Ground ball, diving stop. Arenado's going to take it to first. They get the out there, and it took quite a play by the outstanding third baseman Arenado to get Pearce.
3 straight Gold Gloves. 1 error in 270 chances this season. That's how good he has been and how great that play was.
Well, they all have great instincts, the really great infielders and third basemen, and that sense of where to go that we've referenced to, that little timing mechanism in the back of your head. Great play right there. Strike the count on Kiermaier. 1-1. Dickerson on second. 2-1 to count on Kevin Kiermaier. A pop up back at third. Arenado's after this one and cannot come up with that one. Got turned around, tried to come back the other way.
Right after we sing his praises and he gets all spun around on that pop-up, what should have been the final out of the inning. You can see from our vantage point right there, he's getting too deep and he realizes it. That's not the route you want to take.
Well, you feel so good after making the play on Pearce, and he's berating himself right now. A no play, count is 2-2. When stopped by Hundley, the count is full. Shot. That's going to one-hop the wall. Dickerson will score. Kiermaier stops at second, and the Rays pick up their 6th run of the game. 3-2 pitch, and Kiermaier lines it on one hop to the right field wall.
Well, you get a second chance. Kiermaier hit this ball so hard. He was thinking 3, too. Out of the box. That's the way he always goes at it. You could see him on his way to second, thinking about third base. Dickerson, of course, is going to come wheeling around to score, but that ball was just hit too hard for Kiermaier to get to third base.
Well, Luke Maile becomes the 9th Ray hitter to step in here in the 3rd. Pitch is upstairs. A 1-0 count. He lifts it into left. Rayburn coming on is there and makes the catch. Rays send 9 men to the plate. They score 5. 2 coming on the long home run by Evan Longoria, and the Rays lead 6-0. We're in the bottom of the 3rd now, 6-0. Rays leading the Rockies, and don't miss tomorrow's Wednesday showdown presented by Mazda. The Rays again squaring off against Colorado. Our coverage begins at 2:30. Chris Archer goes to the mound against Jorge De La Rosa in the wrap-up game of this series. Nick Hundley was at the plate when the 2nd inning ended on the caught stealing at second. So he leads off the 3rd and takes a strike. Blake Snell on the hill, the 23-year-old lefty.
In this ball game, a long way from over in this ballpark, so Blake Snell needs to continue, stick to the game plan, continue to make quality pitches. That being said, it is nice to take the hill with a 6-run cushion.
Yeah, but you cannot lose sight of the fact that this Colorado offense has scored 476 runs this year. And this ballpark has a lot to do with it, and they have some good hitters on top of all that. 2-2 the count. A couple of strikeouts through the first two for Blake Snell. We'll make another 2-2 pitch to Hundley. Snell coming off a tough loss to the Angels. 1-4 overall. And getting some support here tonight. He throws it by Hundley. That's strikeout number 3.
Well, that's one way you can attack an aggressive lineup, a lineup that's got some power in it. Looking to get back in the game. If you can command the fastball up, you get a lot of these Rays pitchers, they love this particular pitch right here, and Blake Snell goes up with great effectiveness. You see Hundley just not able to get up there and catch that ball that's going to be in the mid-90s. And you know what? Outside of that walk to Trevor Story, we wondered how sharp would Blake Snell be, you know, having had 12 days in between starts, and so far has looked very good.
Brandon Barnes takes a strike. Yes, he has. He hasn't missed a beat.
And 12 days, and that can be an eternity to a starting. It's a DL stint almost.
Chopper foul, 0-2. We get Lyles up in the bullpen. Chatwood has been touched for 6 runs, 7 hits in 3 innings. And he continues to have a tough time here at home. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Tapper foul again.
You know, for Chatwood to be successful really anywhere, he's got to keep that sinker down. And we've seen some fastballs that he's thrown here tonight that even appeared to have a little bit of cut to them. In on the lefties, away to some of the righties. But a lot of pitches have been elevated. And the Rays, you know what, to their credit, they haven't missed them. They've hit them hard. How many extra base hits have they come up with already?
Well, Forsythe has 2, Miller 1, Longoria the long home run. Kiermaier has a double. Now 2-2 to Barnes. Chatwood out on deck. 1 out, bases empty. And a cut and a miss. So Barnes out on strikes. Strikeout number 4.
We talk about shutdown innings. You know, your team goes out and gets you a couple of runs, gives you a lead, and Blake Snell has come right out and taken that to heart. A couple of fastballs up in the zone to finish off Hundley and Barnes. Quick 2 outs. I'm going to send Chatwood up here to the plate.
Pitch is up, 1-0. One ball, no strikes. And Snell up out of the zone. Another fastball missing at about the same spot. Chopper to short. Miller gloves and throws. And it's a 1-2-3 third. On to the 4th we go. The Rays lead 6-0. go to the fourth. Duke Energy, proud to support the Rays and Tampa Bay area veterans. For every game the Rays win, Duke Energy donates $1,000 to area agencies working in support of our veterans. Duke Energy, powering Florida with more than just energy by supporting veterans and other local charities. Rays batted around in the third. Here in the fourth, it will be Oswaldo Arcia again leading off. Pitch is high. It's a one hopper that's going to skip off the glove of LeMahieu and into right field for a base hit. So Arcia is aboard, and that means that Blake Snell's going to get another opportunity to try to bunt him over.
Well, let's see what kind of adjustment Blake makes. Tell you, Tyler Chatwood really not fooling anybody. That ball's blistered by Arcia. LeMahieu, I don't know if that was more self-defense than anything. Trying to backhand pick that rocket.
Snell.
Oh, we have regression. We have regression. Of the 4 jabs, that one was the worst.
Oh, that was a negative jab.
That was the. Come on now. Oh, that let him swing it.
Yeah. 1-1. Although when we watched him in BP, he did hit 1 or 2 to the outfield, but a lot of ground balls back to the mound and a couple that would have been to second. Or maybe the idea is just to take it. You either take it or you try to bunt it.
Yeah,
bunting wasn't working out.
Right. You've got a lead. I mean, I want to see him turn it loose. I don't know if they'll let him.
And look at that. What an eye. 3-1.
Yeah, at least he's not chasing, unless he's under strict order.
And I would say he's under
just
strict
stand
orders.
there. Look me.
Kevin Cass wasn't big on having a bat near him anyway. Oh, he takes a cut.
And that was an impressive little cut right there.
Hitters count. He couldn't resist.
See, that was one of those fastballs that had the cutting action. You know, you hear a lot about the sinker, but this ball's got cutting action and just kind of down and in.
And he fouls it back. Feeling pretty good right now.
I like it. So do his compadres.
Yeah, they're enjoying this. And he draws the walk. So the first 2 men are on. Snell heads to first. Arcia up to second base. And a smile on the face of Kevin Cash there for a moment. And here comes Walt Weiss. Been a tough start for Tyler Chatwood, the young right-hander out of Redlands, California. That's a Matt Andriese territory. And that's going to be it for Chatwood. Pitching change coming back in a moment. Baseball on Fox Sports Sun, brought to you by Dodge. Visit Dodge.com. By Kubota. For more information, go to Florida, KubotaDealers.com. And by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. Rays in Denver tonight. They have jumped out to a 6-0 lead. Tyler Chatwood departs, 2 hitters into the 4th. 64 pitches, responsible for those 2 runners. Jordan Lyles takes over on the hill. And he'll face the top of the order in Logan Forsythe. Logan 2 for 2, a couple of doubles, run batted in, and 2 runs scored tonight. He takes a strike. Up and in. 1-1. The Rays pitcher, Blake Snell, the runner at first. Arcia, the runner at second. A ball, 2 strikes. Lyles was recalled from Albuquerque just about a month ago. 3rd stint with the Rockies. He had been starting and now out of the bullpen. Roller to short. Out at second. Out at first. Arcia goes to 3rd. So Story starts the double play.
Rockies needed that in the worst way. This ball right off the end of the bat of Logan Forsythe, and it just sets up perfectly. An odd angle there for LeMahieu to get back to the bag, but he does it very well and is able to make the turn look easy.
So 2 outs, and now Brad Miller faces Lyles.
You'd like to see Blake Snell be a little bit more aggressive in trying to break that up, though. Come in a little bit hot and try to, you know, you got a second baseman at an odd angle. You got to try to go after him a little bit.
Well, hey, he did a great job at the plate working that walk.
Then finish it off. Break up the double play.
1-0 count. This one down, blocked by Hundley. Yeah, that was impressive by Snell right in the middle of the at-bat. They just changed approaches. Forget about trying to bunt the runner over. Take some pitches, get up in the count, foul 1 or 2 away, and then draw the walk.
That was a real hitter.
Miller fouls it out of play. He doubled home a run in the 5-run 3rd. Into center field. That one will drop. It hit the ground first. Great effort out there by Blackman for a diving catch. Hustling out there to make the call. And boy, that was a close call there. But he could not get there in time, and the Rays pick up another run to make it 7-0. Look at that. A little short hop into the mid. So the Rays pick up the run here in the 4th. Miller's 2nd run batted into the night. Evan Longoria, 2 for 2. Look at the last 10 games for Evan. 421, and he hit one out of sight in the 3rd inning. Counts 1-1. Here's another look at that long home run struck by Evan in the third.
This one may have popped out of the stadium. Up above the seats, a big bounce. Sent a search party out for it.
Ground ball and right up the middle. LeMahieu's there, makes the throw to first. Out of the shift to get Evan. Rays had a run. It's 7-0 Tampa Bay. In 2008, Evan Longoria belting his first career grand slam coming off Roy Halladay as the Rays defeated Toronto 6-4. So a big blast in 08 by Evan and a long blast tonight. Top of the order for Colorado. Here's Charlie Blackmon. Pitch is a strike. 7-0 Rays. Snell, another strike. Well, he's thrown nothing but strikes to Blackmon. He got him on 3 pitches in the first. He's ahead of him 0-2 in the fourth. 1 ball, 2 strikes. DJ LeMahieu next, and then Nolan Arenado due up third. Two and two. Well, the full count now.
It was in complete control of this count here against Blackmon, and then the last 3 pitches have missed pretty wide. Easy takes, and now back to full. Blake Snell, time to make a pitch and move on.
Ground ball, that's going to go through the middle and into center. 3-2 fastball, and the Rockies have their first hit.
Well, you go from having a guy down 0-2 and a stranglehold on the at-bat to becoming predictable. He missed 3 out of the zone. Blackmon knows with a big lead, he's probably going to come with the fastball. I'll just stay up the middle with it, and he gets the hit.
So out of the stretch goes Blake Snell against DJ LeMahieu. Second leading hitter in the National League. Came in hitting .330. .379 here at Coors Field. Keeping an eye on Blackmon over there. Even though the Rays have this 7-0 lead, there's a great month of July put together by LeMahieu, hitting over .350. Chopped to short his first time. First pitch strike.
The Rays would gladly take that in this at-bat. Try to get themselves a double play here after the leadoff single. Well, so far, Blake Snell has stuck to his guns, and we have not seen the curveball. It's been fastball, changeup, slider. And even that slider has gotten some depth out of it. And if that's the case, well, you really don't need the curveball. But I would have forced Colorado to at least prepare for it. Imagine being a football team and going into a game saying, we are not going to run to the right side. Our right guard was nicked up last week. We are not going to run to the right side. Just not going to do it.
Yeah.
And then stick to it, not do it.
Yep. Well, that's what he's done so far.
Yeah, he's been pretty good.
Fouled into the seats. One on, nobody out. And there's the breaking ball. How about that?
I think he snuck one in.
I think he did. He started it wide and it broke over and caught the corner.
I think he snuck one. Good for him. And you know, it didn't have the kind of depth that we're used to seeing, but the change of speed and the fact that he located it. There it is. There's the hook. Drops it right there in the outside corner. That's a beauty.
That'll work.
That sure will. Smarter than all of us.
So he gets the first out in the bottom of the fourth. Here's Arenado. There's a stop and the recover. The throw's wide. Off Forsythe's met and over to third base goes Blackmon. Well, a good job on that pitch in the dirt of blocking it, but on the throw down to second, it was too wide.
Sailed on him. You're right. Great block. Keep it close. And right there, that little sidearm flip. And look at that action on it, just taking it away from Forsythe. And that allows Blackmon to get over to third.
So a wild pitch and an error charge to Mahle, and suddenly the Rockies have a man at third. A 1-0 count to Arenado. Fourth wild pitch of the year charged to Snell. First error on Mahle. There's a strike. 1-1. Ooh, a foul ball, and that caught a part of Maley. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Don't rub it.
Tapper, that's going to be foul. Count is 1-2. Day game tomorrow. Wrap-up game of this series. Upstairs, fastball. Man at third, 1 out. The leading RBI man in the National League at the plate. Trevor Story on deck. Blackman the runner at third. Arenado waiting in the batter's box. And he got him. A cut and a miss. Looked like a little slider.
It was down and in. It was perfectly located. 82 miles an hour. And Blake Snell, from that arm angle, his height, you're driving it downhill naturally. And then any little finish that you get with that pitch, even better. There it is. And look at it just track under the swing. Boy, that is a nice pitch, a great spot, and needed it with that runner on third.
So a couple strikeouts now in this inning. 2 outs, and here's Trevor Story. Fastball up and away. Story walked to begin the bottom of the second and was caught stealing on a review of a play at second base to end the inning. That's going to be a strike. 1-1. Change speeds on it. Very nice job by the 23-year-old left-hander tonight. Upstairs. 2 balls and a strike. Well, we've got 11 sliders for Snell tonight. 5 swing and misses on him.
That is outstanding. That is a great percentage on that particular pitch.
Including the National League's RBI leader. Struck him out with that pitch.
Well, he made that pitch a priority coming in. He said that was going to be the focus of his breaking ball usage, and he has certainly backed that up with some very good ones. And like I said, the way that he is able to drive that pitch downhill from his arm angle and height, and then you just spin it enough to get some depth, and that becomes a very difficult pitch to deal with.
That's a strike, and the count is full. A full count here. And that is upstairs for ball 4. So the fastball missed, the second walk of the night given up by Snell. Jim Hickey's going to head to the mound.
Just wants to get him back into the strike zone. He's been very good when he's been there. Get out of this inning unscathed. Well, Blake Snell, we wondered early on, how sharp is this kid going to be? 12 days in between starts. and the early returns have been very, very good. Does have a couple of walks with just one hit given up. Brought the curveball out. He's thrown one of them.
That was dandy right there.
Hey, think about that. He drops the curveball in to get LeMahieu looking, and then goes with another good slider down and in to get Arenado swinging.
Yeah, and you're talking two good hitters here. LeMahieu, the second leading hitter in the National League, and the other guy hits home runs and leads the National League in runs batted in. Here's Ryan Rayburn. First and third, two gone. Pitch a little high, says Clint Fagan, and he's not been inclined to give that pitch. There's a strike. Lifted towards center, right center, and cutting across Arcia to make the catch on the run. 2 men left. We go to the fifth. 7-0 Rays.
Nothing lead as we head to the fifth inning. It is officially late night with the Rays. That's right, it's after midnight back in Florida. Hope you guys are staying up with us and watching a little Rays baseball tonight. We're up at the rooftop area, guys. This is a huge, fun area where you could watch baseball, hang out. We're not too far from the tavern, which is actually on the lower level, but they have a hangout area on the top. There's also Chubb Burgers. There's a Jack Daniel's Terrace down the way. It's basically just a place to hang out with some friends, watch a little baseball from up top at the top of the stadium. This used to be seats last time the Rays were here. They turned it into this whole party area. I ran into some Seminole Warhawks as well. We have Jonathan and Wes over here. We have my buddy Matt Summer, who goes on a road trip every year to watch the Rays. He's one of the biggest Rays fans, guys, not just because he goes on a road trip every year. A lot of people do that. We run into them all the time. Matt actually got married. Remember those Brazers we used to have back in 2010? He got married wearing my brazier. He wore it at his wedding. So how did that go over with your now wife, Sarah, when you brought that up to her that might happen?
She definitely wasn't very happy about that. Made me go with a backup jacket to wear as well, but she wasn't thrilled about it, but in the end, she was okay with it.
Well, guys, he is a huge Rays fan, obviously. He travels to see this team everywhere. Actually, his wedding ring has baseball stitches on it. Pretty cool. So he wore the brazier for his wedding. Rooftop area up here in Denver. You can see the skyline. Obviously, we got to a late start, but when the sun's going down, you can see beautiful sunsets. Place to be. Watch Rockies and Rays. Hang up here at the rooftop with some Seminole Warhawks. Back to you guys.
Yeah, if we want to find the best spots, we just check in with Todd. He finds them all. Dickerson out on that fly ball to short left. out there campaigning again.
Well, now that he's not listening to us, how about the Trucks idea to turn this into a late night with the Rays?
Great idea.
Right?
Pierce on the ground towards short. The bat splintered off. 2 gone now in the 5th. Yeah.
And I thought they came out strong
Yes, they did.
because you had 3 choices. You had Todd Giddy with the stash, which is a favorite of mine.
Yep.
You had Todd Arizona Pool with the Angora sweater still on. And then you had Todd wet profile shot, kissy face. Those are 3 can't miss photos.
Yep. And all available on Late Night with the Rays.
Imagine how it's going to be when we get to Oakland, because it gets really weird in Oakland.
Yeah, it scares me. I might not even show up. Hey, there's a good one.
See, yep, there it is. Kissy with the headband, too.
There's a strike to Kevin Kiermaier. He's right. We've seen a lot of Rays fans here. And you just can't get over that.
I know I told you this before, but I've been in this phase of a lot of dreaming lately.
I know.
I go in streaks. I won't dream for 6 months, and then all of a sudden, for like 2 straight weeks. And there have been some things happen here tonight that I'm going to be coming in rough tomorrow morning. Between that picture of Todd, some of the stuff I've had in my mouth, it's not going to be good.
Yeah, another reason maybe not to show up tomorrow. It's a 3-1 count now on Kevin Kiermaier. Jordan Lyles in relief of Tyler Chatwood.
I was up here snacking on some Rocky Mountain oysters.
I noticed that.
And they weren't warm. They were back to room temperature. I don't know how smart that was.
Kiermaier draws the walk. Let's take him back to the room. What you do is you take those into that sun lamp that's in the bathroom, put them under that for a while.
Reheat them.
Warms them right up.
I for sure won't be here tomorrow.
Here's Luke Maile. He'll go for 2. Takes a pitch inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That's a strike. 1-1. Seven-0 ball game. We're in the top half of the 5th after a long rain delay. Now 1-2. Dickerson out on a fly ball to left. Pierce short to first. Then the Kiermaier walk. Rays got all 7 runs off Chatwood. Jordan Lyles out there now. This one low, popping away, but no chance for Kiermaier to advance. 2-2. As we mentioned, Lyles' 3rd stint here with the Rockies. He was in the rotation. In fact, he was the starting pitcher in the Rockies home opener this year. Struggled in that role. And he gets Maile on the strikeout. Rays leave a man. Middle of 5, 7-0 Rays. More Rays fans here. In fact, we want to pass along happy wedding anniversary wishes. And we'll get to that after this greater coverage of baseball brought to you by T-Mobile. And we talked about this last night. Aroldis Chapman hitting 105.1 miles per hour in that J.J. Hardy at bat.
I mean, look at those numbers. Look at those numbers. I mean, 95 used to be hard. Now we're going 105, 104.9.
Yeah, that's really ridiculous.
It's absurd.
I mean, that seems impossible. You know, 100's one thing.
Right.
Okay, good. 105.1.
Well, how many? There was 6 pitches there that were above 104.
Yeah.
In one, you know, he's coming in for an inning.
Liner, and it's going to be caught by Pierce down there at first. Reynolds, the first out in the bottom of the 5th inning. You know, talking about all the Rays fans here, wanted to pass along a happy 35th wedding anniversary to a couple of great Rays fans. They're in Palm Harbor, Steve and Lori Harrell. And if you're their daughter Chelsea and their son-in-law Sean, what do? You leave town, you come to Denver, and you watch the Rays and the Rockies here at Coors Field. And you let the folks celebrate their anniversary alone. So Chelsea and Sean are here watching the Rays with this lead tonight. Fly ball caught by Dickerson, and Hundley is the second out.
I mean, it's well coordinated right there.
Yeah, give the folks some space.
Give your space, and we'll go take a vacay out to Denver.
Like it.
Oh, look, the Rays are in town.
Yeah, all works. 2 up, 2 down.
Well, then maybe they'll jump on a train and head somewhere.
Hey, why not? Seems like a great idea.
Very popular out here.
Brandon Barnes up here with the bases empty and 2 gone. It's fouled out of play. Blake Snell, through the front 4, had made 66 pitches, facing 14 hitters with 8 first pitch strikes. At 0-2 counts on 5 of those hitters. That's a pretty good ratio. That appeared to be another breaking ball right there.
They did. It did. It's getting froggy out there on the mound. 7-run lead.
Yeah.
Start breaking out the curveball here.
Little tapper foul.
I'll tell you, you can't say enough about the job that he's doing against this lineup in this ballpark.
That's absolutely right. Impressive.
Yep. You know, even with that lead, the tendency to get maybe too much in attack mode, but he's continued to pitch. And, you know, you're in the bottom of the 5th with 2 outs, and Rockies yet to get on the scoreboard.
And that will be strike 3. He came right back. So he is out on strikes through 5, 7-0. For the Rays, and Blake Snell, through 5 innings, he's made 74 pitches, and eventually he's got that curveball into play as well, so he's had all 4 pitches going.
Yeah, and going very well, as you can see there. 2 walks, just 1 hit given up, and the Rays blowing it open in that 3rd inning. Everything they hit that inning was hit hard. The first 7 hits, 5 went for extra bases. None more impressive than that blast right there by Longoria, bouncing its way right out of the stadium, we believe. Well, you keep pitching well, you get your 3rd at-bat.
It's going to be Arcia, then Snell, followed by the top of the order, Forsythe. Change up right there, and Arcia is out in front for a strike. Arcia has walked and singled, twice has scored. Lifts it into center field. Blackman angling back to his right to make the catch. So that's the first out here. The leadoff man retired by Jordan Lyles. Here's Blake Snell. Snell tried to sacrifice his first time, eventually called out on strikes, and then he walked in the 4th. Chopper to 3rd. Renato Hayes making it a play down there at first base. Snell out 5-3.
I like it.
Yeah. A lot to like about Blake Snell tonight.
Yeah, boy, I tell you, throwing the ball well. Chopper here, get up the line. Long strides. Half a step.
Yeah, Kevin Cash might have taken him out of the game had he beaten that one out. Come on, get in here, sit down.
Just a kid.
Yeah, he's feeling it tonight.
Yeah.
That's great.
Playing baseball.
Logan Forsythe. He takes a strike. Look at that. He is feeling it. Thought he had himself an infield hit there. Into left. Will that stay up? It will. Rayburn makes the catch. 1, 2, 3. We go to the bottom of inning 6. 7-0 Rays. This one moving into the bottom of the 6th inning. Day game tomorrow, and here's what's coming up on Rays Live, the pregame show presented by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. Our coverage begins at 2:30. Chris Archer on the mound for the Rays. We'll hear from him, and Orestes will break down Charlie Blackmon, the center fielder and leadoff man for the Rockies. Well, we go to the bottom of the 6th. Jordan Lyles, the pitcher, leads it off. Snell finished off the 5th, an 8-pitch inning. That's a strike call there. 1-1. He'd made 74 pitches through 5.
A tremendous average, especially here, especially for Blake, who was averaging over 18.5 pitches per inning coming in. Ask you, how sharp will he be? I guess the answer is very.
Gets a strike there. 2-2. It back. He got Barnes to end the 5th on a curveball. He's used that a couple times tonight to get strikeouts. Seven strikeouts on the night. Ground ball back to the mound. The tall lefty's got it. That'll be the first out with the toss to Pierce. We'll go back around to the top of the order now. Charlie Blackmon. Well, Snell starts his 3rd time through the order. Giving up 1 hit, and Blackmon picked that up in the 4th.
Yeah, and really, you know, Blake Snell kind of did him a favor there. He jumped out in front of him 0-2. Threw 3 pitches well out of the zone to get to a full count, and then Charlie Blackmon knew a fastball was coming, and he just poked it back up the middle.
There's a strike. So for Blackmon, the extension of his hitting streak to 11. Feeling
a lot better with that breaking ball because we've seen it more and more frequently. And you know, when you look the break on it, you wonder why he would have stayed away from it anyway.
Well, he's proving that you can use it here in Denver.
Yeah.
Tap, foul ball, and there have been other pitchers who've discovered that and used it to their benefit.
You have to use it differently. You can use it.
Yep.
You have to use it differently. You talk about lowering the sights, you know, just starting that pitch a little bit lower, and it still can be effective.
And he gets Blackmon right there on the fastball. Strikeout number 8. 2 outs here in the 6th. Here's that fastball by Blackmon.
A couple of off-speed pitches down in the zone, below the zone, and then climb that ladder with the fastball. I'll tell you, the kid has been impressive here tonight. No question.
And a cut and a miss. So a nice mix by Snell tonight. Finally broke out the curveball. We saw him use that against LeMahieu in the 4th. And he got him on strikes looking with it. 0-2. Then he got Barnes swinging to strike out on the breaking ball in the 5th inning. 0-2 here to LeMahieu. 2 outs and the base is empty. The speed range 75-95 for the young lefty. tries the curveball there again and just barely missed. Look at the location on that one.
Trying to get that outside corner again. And when you talk about a 20-mile-an-hour difference with 4 pitches mixed in between, that is a nice range to work with.
2-2. Seven, 9-1 for the Rays. 0-1-0 for the Rockies. Now the count is full after being ahead. Similar scenario to Blackmon back in the 4th. 2 outs in the 6th. Base is empty and the count is full to LeMahieu. And he lost him. Fastball too high. 2-out walk in front of Arenado.
You know, that was really the first pitch tonight where we've seen Blake Snell get out of himself mechanically. Really overthrew that fastball. I think trying to hump up there and send a message, and he just came unglued mechanically, and that ball didn't have a chance. But that's the first time we've seen that all night.
And here's Arenado, the third baseman. Pitch is in there, a strike. Covered up by Mahle. We go to 1-1. Blake Snell out of the Seattle area, Shoreline, Washington. Arenado out in front.
It's another slider. And he's got great depth with that pitch. Kept them right around the 81, 82 range. Gotten Arenado to swing over the top of it a couple of different times.
Covered up again by Mahle. Runner at first, 2 gone. Bottom of the 6th. Blake Snell in the mid-90s in pitch count now. And a pitch down for ball 3. So he's run a full count on both LeMahieu after getting ahead of him. And now 3-2 to Arenado. He got him, a cut and a miss. He strikes out Arenado for the 2nd time tonight. His 9th strikeout of the contest. We're going to go to the 7th. 7-0 Rays.
in the 7th inning as Late Night with the Rays continues. Tampa Bay coming to bat with this lead in the 7th. The guys, we actually have 2 nights or 2 games worth of Web Wednesdays because we're after midnight on the East Coast, and then we have that day game tomorrow. So tomorrow's our normal Web Wednesday, but tonight, a little Late Night with the Rays version of Web Wednesday. We already have some people who have tweeted in or via email. You can email us at foxsportsun@gmail.com, and when you tweet us, use the hashtag AskRays. Well, fans have been watching, obviously, tonight, and the ones that have stayed up late with us are curious. With those Rocky Mountain oysters, guys, do you prefer on the side ketchup, cocktail sauce? What's your preference, guys, up in the booth on those oysters?
Well, I'll tell you what makes them, I think, probably the best of all. BA has already demolished them, but he did so without really experiencing the Epicurean delight of the Rocky Mountain oysters with rib sauce.
Ooh.
Yeah, rib sauce.
Yeah, well, you know what? That harkens back to 4th of July memories.
Yep.
The amount of rib sauce that got powdered down that day.
Yep. I mean, you can't beat rib sauce.
No.
It's big.
It is
really big.
And you're right. Those Rocky Mountain oysters, I took them down plain.
Yep.
I wanted to just really, I don't know. I wanted the real taste. I didn't want to, gum it up.
Kind of a purist.
Yeah. If you're going to go for it, then go for it. Not dumb it down, but you're right. I'm thinking
next time rib
what
sauce.
I tasted before with a, big vat of rib sauce.
Yep.
That'd be something.
Big vat. Miller lifts it into right. Going to be caught by Barnes out there. And so Brad Miller is out number 1. Evan Longoria will be up here. It's been a big night for Evan, including that long home run back in the 3rd. He had 2 triples last night on Sunday at the Trop, 2 home runs against Baltimore. 2 hits, 3 runs batted in, and that long home run tonight. Pitch is down, 1 ball, no strikes. Strike at the knees, 1-1. Lyles out there in relief of Tyler Chatwood. The Rays did all the damage against Chatwood. 7 runs, 8 hits. They have 1 hit off Lyles. This one is popped out of play, a foul ball right side. Upstairs, 2-2. There's ball 3 inside. The count is full. And Corey Dickerson is on deck. And Evan down on strikes for the first time tonight. 2nd strikeout for Lyles. And 2 gone here in the 7th inning. So it was good to have Todd check in, though, at the top of this inning here, just to make sure that he was still around. The big question often asked is, where's Todd? We've even had fans asking us that question here in Denver.
With signs.
Yeah.
Yelling up to the booth.
Specifically to the 2 of us.
Yes.
Where's Todd?
I'll tell you what, Todd has put in a full day.
He has.
A full day. And he's still giddy. That's the thing. Guy's never not giddy. You ever seen Todd in a bad mood? I mean, honestly, without being funny. Have you ever seen him in a bad mood? Because I haven't.
0-2 on Dickerson.
I really haven't. In all the years, never have seen the guy in a bad mood.
There he is. See, look, he's in a good mood right now.
You know, you may have to question someone's soul if they're always that happy. No? Says no.
There's a base hit the other way for Dickerson. That's his second hit. Well, he's in the lineup tonight, 2 for 4 in this ballpark. He loves to hit here.
Because I think really at the end of the day, it's healthy at times to get a little chappy, you know? Mm-hmm. I've had enough. I've had enough. And then that passes and you go back to being normal.
Yeah, and I think that varies from person to person. I could understand that, you need to be a little chappy once in a while.
That's right.
Yeah.
Everyone, it builds up, and then you're like, I'm done.
Yeah.
Today I'm done with it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I deal with it, and then, you move
there
on.
You are.
Maybe that's what he does on the golf course.
Steve Pearce chops it foul. Well, I think he's probably in a good mood on the golf course, and the people playing with him get chappy.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean by that one.
Some of those guys out there with him are chappy to begin with.
Shifty.
Yes, shifty's a good adjective for those guys. That's going to go through the middle, and a base hit for Pearce. On his way to third, Dickerson, first and third. So Steve Pearce just off the disabled list, playing first base tonight, and he picks up his first hit.
Able to sandwich that ball right up the middle between Rockies' middle infielders. Keep this inning alive. I'll tell you, the Rays, they sent a message here tonight. Blake Snell good early. That huge third inning where they really blew things open. Needed a game like this. You got to finish it off now.
Well, here's Kevin Kiermaier. Doubled in a run in the 5-run third. On the ground right side. LeMahieu's throw to first. The Rays will lead 2. Do not score in the 7th and hold a 7-0 lead. The bottom half of the 7th inning. Matt Andriese will take over for Blake Snell, and he was fun to watch tonight.
Yes, he was. Early on, like I said, the thought was how sharp is he going to be going 12 days in between starts, and I think that line says it all. 3 walks, but who cares? 1 hit given up, no runs, more importantly, 9 strikeouts. He got all 4 pitches involved. We even wondered if the curveball would make an appearance. It did. It was effective. And Blake Snell really had a fantastic outing here tonight for the Rays.
And now it's Matt Andriese making his 16th appearance. 6-2 with a .277 earned run average.
Matt Andriese has done a little bit of everything this season for the Rays, and he's been quite effective, as those numbers show.
Well, it's going to be Trevor Story to lead it off. Then Ryan Rayburn and Mark Reynolds against Matt Andrees. The first pitch outside. Story has walked a couple times. Take a look at Ryan Rayburn on deck. The on-deck circle is way behind him and to his right. And he is as close, I think, as we've ever seen an on-deck hitter get to the plate and not actually be hitting.
How is he not in the shot right there? I mean, he really is. It's very odd to see. And oh, by the way, a check swing and you're done.
Yeah, that would be dangerous.
You better believe it.
Good cut and a miss by Story. 2-1. Base hit through the right side. They had the shift on, and Story on for the third time. Picks up his first hit. So a couple of walks and now a leadoff single.
They'll hit this ball hard and let that ball get into the zone, down and away. There's no one there to field that. Just poke it into right field.
Rayburn, one on, base is empty. Andrees misses wide. Well, it's been 9 days since Andrees has been in a game. His last game was on the 10th.
It's an awful long time to go in between outings. Blake Snell with the starts, Andrees coming out of the pen. You've got to find a way to stay sharp, simulate some things, whatever it takes.
And he's behind Rayburn. Over to first. Story back in. Andrees with 2 2/3 had 5 strikeouts against the Red Sox on July the 10th. High popper. Right side, Pierce down the line, coming in from right, Arcia, and he's going to make the catch in fair territory. So Rayburn with a high pop fly handled by Arcia. One on, one out. Here's Mark Reynolds. Reynolds lined to first his last time, 0 for 2. Pitch is down. 1-0. Blake Snell made 96 pitches, 6 innings, scoreless baseball, had 9 strikeouts. Now it gives way to Matt Andrees. And Matt is behind Reynolds, 2-0. Popper. Forsythe starts out. Arcia coming in and making the call, and he takes care of that one. So 2 outs after the leadoff base hit. Long run by Arcia. Follow Rays Baseball live with the MLB.com at Bat app. Stay up to the moment and any moment with Game Day, live game video highlights, StatCast news, and a lot more. Download MLB.com at Bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone or tablet. Now Nick Hundley. Hundley is struck out and flied out to left. First pitch is down and away, 1-0. That's a strike, 1-1. Andriese working in the 7th. Little turnabout tonight. Rockies won last night 7-4. The Rays lead 7-0 tonight. Rockies had 8 two-out hits in that game last night, and nothing so far tonight with 2 outs. There's a strike, and it's 1-2.
The Rays have been able to shut them down. You know, those 2-out hits can be demoralizing. You put together 8 of them in a ball game, that's going to lead to some runs eventually. But tonight, not to be. Tough with 2.
And a cut in the miss right there. Hundley out on strikes. A man left. We go to the 8th. 7-0 Rays. Welcome back to Coors Field, where the Rays lead 7-0. Blake Snell, 6 shutout innings of 1-hit baseball, 9 strikeouts tonight, and Evan Longoria with 2 hits, including a long home run in the 5-run third for the Rays.
How about this? Old friend Jake McGee comes on for the 31st time. You see 15 out of 19 in the saves. That ERA, though, just over 6. 25 and a third innings.
The third pitcher of the night here for Colorado. McGee and Dickerson in that deal between these two clubs, and both players, Dickerson, the outfielder, and Jake McGee, the pitcher, saying there was a little adjustment. Changing leagues, number one, changing teams is one thing, changing leagues another thing. Want to know the count here to Luke Maile. It's a fastball for a strike. There's Dickerson. One ball, two strikes. Chopped to short. And the throw by Story in time to get the Rays catcher. So one gone. Well, there's that trade of January, late January, between the Rays and the Rockies with Dickerson and McGee, the principals.
Both guys still trying to settle in. You know, watching Jake McGee here tonight, the first thing that jumps out at you, 4 pitches in, 4 fastballs, 91-92, velocity way down from what we're used to seeing from Jake McGee.
Brandon Guyer pinch hits now for Arcia with the lefty out there, and there's one at 91.
Yeah, no, there's a definite, you know, Jake McGee was one of those guys where we would laugh because he's 95% heaters, and you knew what was coming and you couldn't do anything about it. And now, you know, like I said, small sample size, 5 pitches, but we're talking 91-92, completely different.
Guyer up here, the pinch-a-penny pinch hitter. Well, here's the big difference. Look at that breakout for Jake. Home and away.
Yeah, I mean, night and day.
Absolutely. High fly ball, center field. Blackman there under it waiting. 2 gone. 2 outs, the bases are empty. And Matt Andriese comes to the plate. Now Snell was 0 for 2 with a walk. And here's Matt. Andriese got an at-bat last year, 0 for 1. And goes for the first pitch, chops it to the left side. And that takes care of the Rays in the 8th. 7-0, we go to the bottom of the 8th.
As late night with the Rays continues, Rays leading 7-0. Guys, we're getting some questions tonight on our Web Wednesday, the after midnight version, the late night with the Rays version, including we got a comment from New Zealand as people there are watching and said they're happy for the rain delay because now they have a chance to watch the Rays coming home from work. So we've got viewers tonight in New Zealand. Here is your Web Wednesday buffet. You can choose any or all of these questions that we have for you. 3 different topics. Number 1, in regards to Oswaldo Arcia getting oxygen in the dugout earlier. Have you ever seen that at a baseball game? Number 2, what do you guys do during a rain delay? Number 3, who's the last one to go to sleep at night on the crew, and who's the first one to wake up? And that you are allowed to have the same answer for both those questions. Guys, back to you.
Well, I'll take the third one right now. I'm the last one to go to bed, guaranteed, and I'll guarantee I'm the first one up. That's probably why I get all bent out of shape, all high-strung, will sleep.
You're high-strung.
You believe that?
1-0 the count here to Brandon Barnes. 1-0.
I'll be the first one to sleep tonight. I promise you that.
You will.
Oh,
Really?
When the head hits the pillow,
Yep.
I'm done.
Yep. I
Tapped
usually know when you're asleep when I see the pizza boxes and the room service stacked up right outside your door. And I have to walk in my sleep to see them because it's about 3:30 in the morning, and then you're awake at 5:30.
That's right. I'm going to work all that pizza off.
2-1 the count here to Brandon Barnes.
So what do you do during the rain delay? Like, what do you, I know you're in your little station over here.
We
I
have-
try to stay out of
We have
it,
a little conversation.
Yeah.
We talked with we got folks on the crew,
Yeah.
and particularly, for us, all the rain delays are on the road, and we always have some of the local crew here.
That's right.
So we get a chance to catch up with them. They're great folks, and so we talk about their favorite places in these great cities. And Denver is a city where you just don't have enough time.
I mean, you don't come here very often,
Yeah.
number one. And then when you have the night, day game, there's very little. Like tomorrow, it's going to be a quick turnaround. You fight to get back to your room, get up in the morning, we'll be right back here before you know it, and then gone.
Yep.
You know what I do is I sit around in anticipation of Todd's weather updates.
Oh, what a great play. Running out there from second base, Forsythe in shallow center field takes care of that popper. Nice job indeed by Logan Forsythe to retire Barnes.
Watch how far he's got to go. Off and running. Great job there by Logan Forsythe.
So with 1 out, Jake McGee due up, and Christian Adames will pinch hit for him. So we see Jake McGee for 1 inning and 3 hitters. Matt Andriese retired the first man in the 8th, pitched to scoreless 7th. No ball, no strikes. Adames lifts a fly ball left field. Dickerson quickly into foul territory and runs out of room down there in the corner. That ball out of play. And a souvenir, a late night souvenir.
Florida Gators. The Florida Gators tank top.
So the
Oh, it was a Rays
raised
fan.
cap. There you go. 1-1 to count. Yes, sir. Right place, right time. 2-1 to Adames. Andriese out of Redlands, California, same place that Tyler Chatwood Drew up, ground ball, and a nice play by Pierce. And Andres right over there to cover. Boy, nice to have Pierce back.
Yeah.
He adds a dimension to this team that they have certainly missed.
Yeah, he brings, first of all, veterans, some grit, some toughness, and he gives you that option of being able to spell Logan Morrison from time to time. Plays a good first base. That was a nice play there and a nice feed to Andres.
Now the top of the order, Charlie Blackmon. How about Todd getting a communique from New Zealand? We're starting in a different part of the world. You know, a lot of Rays followers in Europe. Oh, there's a shot well hit. Geyer's going to have to chase this one to the track. And Blackmon pulls up at second with a double. Well, he has 2 of the 3 hits. Blackmon at second with 2 outs.
Didn't waste any time either, going right after this first pitch. The first 2-out hit, right? First 2-out hit.
That's it. And now LeMahieu, the second baseman. He walked in the 6th. Otherwise 0 for 2. Which is a strike. One and one. Blackmon at second base. 2 gone. It's now 2 and 1. Todd tells us that the Rays fan from New Zealand named Spencer.
Yep.
Couldn't know him on a first name basis already.
Yes. I love the overseas angle.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep. And every once in a while we have a visitor at the Trop. Ground ball. Miller at short makes the play. Rockies 0 for 9 with men on base and out in the 8th. On to the 9th, 7-0. top of the 9th inning. And don't forget, later today, this afternoon at 2:30, the Wednesday Showdown presented by Mazda, and the Rays take on the Rockies. That'll be the wrap-up game of this series. So we've got the 9th to go. Reminder, we've got the post game. You've stayed with us this long. I'm sure you'll stay with us for that as well. Adama stays in the game. He plays third. And the new pitcher, Gonzalez German. And he faces the top of the order. Logan Forsythe had a couple of hits in the early stages of this game, 2 doubles. Two and 0. So Chatwood gave up 7 and 3+. Lyles worked 4, McGee 1, and now Gonzalez German. Two balls and a strike. Big cut right there and a miss by Logan.
Took something off that. 93 to 86. It got to be tough. You're getting your first look at a guy. You get a scouting report. You get the pitches that he throws, and go out there and go to battle.
And the count is full. Popped up right center. Barnes and Blackman. It'll be Blackman making the catch, coming in from center. Rays live the post game right around the corner, presented by Checkers. We'll hear from Kevin Cash in his post game press conference. Take a look at Blake Snell and the great night he turned in, and we'll get reactions from the clubhouse. One gone, Brad Miller, who is 2 for 4. Brad hitting .245 on the year, a couple of runs batted in to give him 35. Oh, 2-0. Three balls, no strikes. Well, a turn of fortunes tonight from the first game of this series.
You know, finally a feel-good game, you know, for the Rays. You go back over the streaks, and there have been a number of streaks, and the numbers have not been pretty, but on the road, they had lost coming into tonight, and obviously this game's still not over, but they had lost 11 in a row, bad enough, outscored 71 to 29. That's just getting stomped every night.
Mm-hmm.
And that gets tough to take. So nice to see they jumped out early, and they've maintained that lead all night long. And you know what? Even better that you get a quick turnaround. You get to feel good about it and get right back to work in the morning and try to get something rolling here on this road trip. You're going to face some teams that are under 500 that are very beatable. Maybe you can start to put something together.
1-1 to count to Evan Longoria. Chop to the left side. Story's throw to first.
It's one downside of the shift.
Yep.
You got both middle infielders going for the ball. Story's going to get to it, and LeMahieu is not there because he's backing him up. So no chance to turn what could have been an inning-ending double play.
Miller winds up at second.
Watch LeMahieu start to head towards that ball. Story gets it. Got to take the out at first.
And now with Dickerson up there, the shift goes the other way. Fastball upstairs. Dickerson with a couple hits and a run scored, hitting .227 for the year now. One ball, one strike. Four pitchers for Colorado. Rays have had Snell and Andriese in this game. That's at the knees for a strike. Golf to the left side, out of play.
Mandatory thumb guard retrieval.
Yeah, at least one of those per at bat, it seems. I mean, that's absolutely true. If he gets beyond 4 pitches in an at bat, which is not always guaranteed,
Right.
but if he does, then that thumb guard is going to come off. Two balls, 2 strikes now. At a crowd of 33,000 plus here tonight, and most have gone home. Up the right side, that's going to be fair and back into the corner. Rays are going to get another run. Miller scores. And Dickerson winds up at second. It's 8-0. So the walk to Miller. The Rays convert into a run on the double by Dickerson.
Well, Dickerson, he likes that ball down and out over the plate, and that's where it was put. Watch where this pitch ends up. Down, well, down and in, just as dangerous to a lefty. But he ropes it out there, down into the corner. Miller with 2 outs, running hard. Well, it has been all Rays here tonight.
Now Steve Pearce. Pearce takes the pitch low. Well, on a night when the Rays have scored 8 times, they are 6 of 10 with men in scoring position. That's been an issue for the Rays, but not tonight. One and one.
Yeah, the average in that category has not been very good all season long, right down at the bottom of the American League. But making it even worse is they haven't given themselves that many opportunities.
Yep.
So you got the low average, the fewest opportunities, Tough to score runs.
The take on a pitch deemed low.
But like you pointed out, different story here tonight, and it's the extra base hit, and they had so many early. They're just exchanging places, second base, double after double, a home run. Oh boy!
And a shot deep into left field. That ball is gone. A 2-1 pitch, and Pierce hits it out. Well, the Rays have suddenly put up 3 here in the 9th inning to make it a 10-0 ball game. 10th home run of the year for Pierce. That's another reason it's good to have him back.
Well, you know, Steve Pierce, you think about him against left-handed pitching, but he's done a great job against right-handed pitching this season too, forcing his way in the lineup, and there he just launches. That ball middle of the plate and poked out there pretty good by Steve Pierce, and no doubter.
You know, he's hit 10 home runs, 5 have come off right-handed pitching. Kiermaier sends it into center. It's caught by Blackman. A 3-run 9th, and the Rays lead this game 10-0. The bottom of the 9th, Rays switch out their cleats for cowboy boots for the Hunter Hayes postgame concert Saturday, July 30th. For that night only, Budweiser and Bud Light 20-ounce beers, just $5 for tickets to see the Rays battle the Yankees. And to see the concert, call 888-FAN-RAYS or visit RaysBaseball.com. Daniel Descalso is going to lead it off here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Story and Rayburn to follow with Matt Andriese on the hill. First pitch is upstairs. Two and 0. Chop right side. Andriese will have to cover, and he gets there to take the toss from Pierce, and that'll be the first out. Let's check in again with Todd Kalas.
All right, Dwayne, our late night with the Rays Web Wednesday continues. By the way, good response tonight. Keep it going tomorrow. don't necessarily like that late night with the Rays. I'm glad I get to see this from the booth because I usually don't see that.
That's a good look. He's ready for Hunter Hayes.
I guess it fits for Denver, right?
Yeah.
Top of that hat.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, what happened to the hat? Anyway, Matt Andrees' brother, David, is out there watching our game tonight, and he actually sent on an Ask Rays tonight the fact that Matt and Tyler Chatwood, as you mentioned earlier, same hometown, they were on the same team, pitched in the state championship game in California against Nolan Arenado. There you go, David Andrees. A little info for us on Late Night with the Rays. Keep those questions coming tomorrow, by the way, guys.
Well, we appreciate that from Dave, acting in the role of assistant producer.
Some good info.
Yeah.
That's a good game right there.
He
by
could
the way.
call any time.
Yeah. A lot of talent in that ball game.
Well, Trevor Story up here, 1 strike, the count on him. 0-2. Well, the Rays trying to close out what would be their 6th shutout. This would be, of course, a combination shutout. Matt himself, as we recall, had that 2-hit shutout against Oakland back in the middle of May. Rays won that one 6-0, and they lead 10-0 in this one.
That was the best pitch game of the year.
That was some fun. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And that was on the heels of the Mother's Day game in Anaheim. Talking about coming up and making a splash.
A 1-2 count. Snell worked 6. Matt entered the game in the 7th. Working on getting the final 2 outs here in the 9th. A little bit up with that one. It's 2-2. Foul the other way, out of play. The Story walked back in the 2nd inning and thought he had stolen second base, but the Rays challenged that. The play was reviewed and he was called out on the caught stealing. He walked in the 4th, singled in the 7th, so he's been on all 3 times. He was on 3 times last night with a single walk and a home run. So he's been retired only once. He struck out his last time up last night. Hits a shot to center field. Well tagged. That ball is going to carry and get out of here. Story boats his 23rd home run of the year. And that makes it a 10-1 game.
Well, he's had some kind of magical year, making that team, that story that you told coming out of spring training, hitting 7 home runs the first week of the season, and now 23 on a shot to straightaway center.
And now Ryan Rayburn steps in. Fastball by him, strike 1. Oh, 2. It's 115 home runs for Colorado. Rays have 123 home runs. A ball, 2 strikes. Rays have hit 2 tonight. And now the Rockies with 1 upstairs. 2-2. Rays men on the corners of homered. Longoria and Pierce. And a cut the miss. Rayburn out on strikes. Matt Andriese picking up his second strikeout. Now Mark Reynolds. Here's a look at that strikeout pitch.
A little bit of a cutter, stayed up in the zone. This has been a long night for both teams. That long rain delay to start it off. The Rays went right to work early, continued to add on and complete control. 1 out away from winning this game and get ready for a day game tomorrow.
Reynolds takes a first pitch strike. One and one.
Yeah, heaven forbid that would be called a strike. Jeez.
How about that pitch right there? There have been a lot of those pitches down there, but Fagan just doesn't like that pitch as a strike.
There have been pitches all over the zone that he doesn't like that aren't even borderline.
And now there's a strike.
Yeah, well, whatever. I guess it is midnight or whatever time it is here.
1 and 2. Two balls, 2 strikes. Yeah, technically, it's not even midnight here.
No.
I mean, it's not even your snack time. I mean, pizza's 2 or 3 hours away.
Not tonight.
The 2-2. He got him. Reynolds out on strikes to end this one, and the Rays win it 10-1. They score a run on the home run in the bottom of the 9th inning. And so the Rays and the Rockies are all even in this series at a game apiece. 10-13-1 for the Rays, 5 left, 1-4-0, 5 left for the Rockies. Blake Snell gets his second win. He's 2-4. Chatwood, the loser, 8-6 before 33,061 tonight. A rain-delayed game, and the Rays and the Rockies get this one in, and the Rays come away with a big victory. A lot of offense for the Rays. We'll have all that for you on the postgame. For Brian Anderson and Todd Callis, Dwayne Stats, hope you've enjoyed the telecast. We'll be with you later today at 2:30 this afternoon for the wrap-up game of this series. Now, Rays Live, the postgame, presented by Checkers, comes your way next.